Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, a love story that ended. After almost 20 years together, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban got divorced. Everyone was shocked. They looked so happy together, smiling on red carpets and saying sweet things about each other. But when Nicole filed for divorce, people realized things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Keith started singing sad songs on stage that showed how hurt he was. Nicole stayed quiet and focused on her daughters. This wasn't just a breakup. It was about love, fame, and private problems that nobody knew about. If you like stories like this, please hit like and subscribe so you don't miss more videos. To understand how it ended, let's go back to the beginning. Nicole's early life. Nicole Kidman was born in Hawaii in 1967, but her parents were from Australia. Her dad was a smart scientist, and her mom was a nurse and teacher. When Nicole was little, her family moved back to Australia. Nicole was a very shy girl. She would turn bright red when teachers called on her in class. She was scared to talk in front of people, but she loved to use her imagination. She tried ballet, then acting classes, and joined theater groups. When she acted, she could pretend to be anyone, and that made her feel brave. By the time she was a teenager, everyone could see she was really talented. At 16, she was in a movie called BMX Bandits. People in America noticed her, and soon she became famous. But even though she was successful, she was still searching for love and a place where she belonged. Nicole and Tom Cruise. In 1990, Nicole married Tom Cruise, one of the biggest movie stars in the world. They looked perfect together, but things were hard behind the scenes. Tom believed in something called Scientology, which caused problems in their marriage. When Nicole and Tom divorced in 2001, it was really painful for Nicole. They had adopted 2 children, Isabella and Connor. After the divorce, the kids mostly lived with Tom, and Nicole didn't see them as much. This broke her heart because she wanted to be close to her family. This painful time made Nicole want to find love again and build a strong family. Keith's early life. Keith Urban was born in New Zealand in 1967, but moved to Australia when he was young. His dad loved country music, and Keith started playing guitar when he was only 6 years old. Life wasn't always easy for Keith's family. They didn't have a lot of money, and there were problems at home. Music made Keith feel better. By the time he was a teenager, he was playing in bars and entering talent shows. He even dropped out of school to focus on music. It was his only dream. Keith became famous in 1999 when his album came out in America. Everyone loved his guitar playing and his good looks, but fame brought problems too. Keith started drinking too much alcohol and making bad choices. The more famous he got, the harder it was to control these problems. When he met Nicole in 2005, Keith was struggling. He had already been to rehab to get help. How they met, 2005. Nicole and Keith met at a party in Los Angeles in January 2005. The party was celebrating Australians who became successful in America. Nicole looked beautiful, and Keith was the hot new country singer everyone was talking about. When they met, Nicole thought Keith wasn't interested because he didn't call her for months, but when he finally did, they connected right away. By the end of the year, Nicole was saying he was the perfect man for her. Nicole liked that Keith was real and honest, very different from Tom Cruise. Keith liked that Nicole was classy and made him feel like he had really succeeded in life. By 2006, they were ready to get married. The wedding, 2006. On June 25, 2006, Nicole and Keith had a beautiful wedding in Australia. Nicole wore a gorgeous white dress, and Keith sang to her at the party after the ceremony. It was like a fairy tale. Everyone thought they were the perfect couple. Nicole had found someone who loved her, and Keith had found someone who believed in him. Fans thought this proved that true love could win even after hard times. But fairy tales don't always last forever. Early problems. Just 4 months after their wedding, Keith went to rehab for drinking too much alcohol. This was really hard for Nicole, but she stood by him. She visited him and helped him get better. Keith said Nicole saved his life. But some people think Nicole tried too hard to fix Keith's problems because she wanted to prove she could keep a marriage together this time. For a while, everything seemed okay. But Nicole became the person who always had to take care of Keith, and this would cause problems later. Career and family. After rehab, both Nicole and Keith worked really hard. Nicole made big movies, and Keith became a huge country music star. They looked happy in public, but their jobs kept them apart a lot. They had 2 daughters, Sunday Rose, born in 2008, and Faith Margaret, born in 2010. Nicole loved being a mom and wanted to give her daughters a stable home. Keith loved his kids too, but touring made it hard for him to be home all the time. Nicole liked rules and structure. Keith liked to be spontaneous and free. Sometimes this caused arguments, but they didn't show it in public. Living a lie. For years, Nicole and Keith looked perfect to the world. They smiled on red carpets and said sweet things about each other in interviews. But at home, things were harder. Nicole wanted stability and peace. Keith wanted freedom. Nicole felt like she was doing all the emotional work in the marriage. Keith felt like Nicole was always trying to fix him. They loved each other, but their differences were pulling them apart slowly. The public didn't see any of this, they only saw the smiles. Rumors, 2015-2024. By the mid-2010s, people started whispering that Nicole and Keith were having problems. Tabloids said they were fighting and spending too much time apart. Sometimes photographers caught them at events without each other. But every time, Nicole and Keith said everything was fine. "We've never been stronger," Nicole would say. Keith called her the love of my life. For years, fans believed them. But people close to the couple saw that they were working really hard to look happy. By 2023 and 2024, the rumors got worse. Some reports said they were living separate lives. Still, they kept saying they were fine, but the truth was about to come out. The divorce, 2025. In September 2025, Nicole filed for divorce in Tennessee. After almost 20 years of marriage, it was officially over. The paperwork just said they had differences they couldn't fix. Nicole had been thinking about this decision for months. She was heartbroken, but she knew she had to take care of herself. She couldn't keep being the person who fixed everything. Nicole asked to be the main parent for their daughters, but Keith would still help make decisions. Neither asked the other for money. They had always kept their money separate. Fans were shocked. The perfect couple wasn't perfect after all. Keith's response. A few days after the divorce news came out, Keith performed at a concert without his wedding ring. During a sad song called "You'll Think of Me," he changed the words to say, "Take your unreasonable reasons," and people think he was talking about Nicole. He also didn't sing "The Fighter," a song he wrote about Nicole. Fans noticed everything and talked about it online. Keith's concert felt like he was sharing his hurt feelings with the world through his music. Nicole's response. Nicole handled things differently. She appeared at events without her wedding ring but stayed quiet. Instead of talking about the divorce, she focused on her daughters. Photographers saw her holding their hands and protecting them. Nicole didn't want to lose her daughters like she lost Isabella and Connor after her divorce from Tom. This time, she made sure she would be there for them. Nicole stayed calm and professional. While Keith sang about his pain, Nicole showed her strength through silence. The end. In the end, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's story shows us that even people who look perfect have problems. For 20 years, they tried to be the perfect couple for the world. And for a long time, it worked. But behind the cameras, they were 2 hurt people trying to heal each other. Nicole wanted stability because she had lost her children before. Keith wanted freedom because that's who he was. Their love was real, but their differences were too big. The divorce papers said irreconcilable differences, but the real story is more complicated. It wasn't one big fight that ended their marriage, it was years of trying too hard and slowly growing apart. What makes their story interesting is how differently they handled the breakup. Keith poured his feelings into his music. Nicole stayed quiet and focused on her daughters. For fans, it was sad to see their love story end. But it reminds us that even famous people struggle with love, loss, and trying to find balance. Nicole once said, "It's not about being perfect, it's about showing up again and again." For 20 years, she and Keith did that. But sometimes, even the deepest love isn't enough to last forever. Sometimes the best love stories don't have a happy ending. They just have two people who realize that love alone isn't enough. What do you think about their story? Let us know in the comments. And if you liked this video, please subscribe so you don't miss our next story.